Kelly A. Turner, a Ph.D., wrote a book that showed up on the New York Times bestseller list called Radical Remission: Surviving Cancer Against All Odds. I think you're going to find this book to be very interesting. She says in her book that you have probably heard a story something like this. A person with advanced cancer tries all that conventional medicine has to offer, including chemo and surgery, but nothing works. And she's sent home to die, but 5 years later, she strolls into her doctor's office, healthy and cancer-free. She said that when she first heard this story, she was counseling cancer patients in a large cancer research hospital in San Francisco, and that she was stunned when she read one of these stories about somebody who had a radical remission. And her question was, did this actually happen? Did this person really overcome advanced cancer without using conventional medicine? And if so, why had it not been on the front page of every newspaper? And even if it happened only once, it was still an incredible event. After all, this person had somehow stumbled onto a cure for cancer. She said that the men and women she was counseling would have given anything to know this survivor's secret, and so would she. She instantly began trying to find other cases of radical remission, and what she found shocked her. There were over 1,000 cases in print, all quietly published in medical journals, and yet she was working in a major cancer research institution, and this was the very first time that she'd ever heard of even one. The more she dug into this topic, the more frustrated she became. It turns out that no one was seriously investigating these cases, nor were they making any attempt to track them. And what's worse, most of the radical remission survivors she talked to said that their doctors, while happy for them, often had no interest in hearing about what they had done to get better. And the final straw for Kelly was that a few of those radical survivors told her that the doctors had actually asked them not to tell any of the other patients in the waiting room about these amazing recoveries. And the reason? They didn't want them giving patients false hope. She said a few weeks later, when she was counseling a cancer patient of hers, that patient broke down in tears while receiving her chemotherapy. She was just 31 years old, and she had 2 young toddler twins, and then she'd been recently diagnosed with aggressive stage 3 cancer out of a possible 4 stage. It was breast cancer. So through her sobs, she pleaded with Kelly, "What can I do to get better? Just tell me what to do. I'll do anything. I don't want my children growing up without a mother." He said she watched her sitting there exhausted and bald-headed with her only hope for recovery dripping slowly into her veins. And then she thought of those 1,000-plus cases of incredible radical recovery which no one was investigating. And taking a deep breath, she looked her into the eyes and said, "I don't know, but I'm going to try to find out for you." That was the moment with that sobbing mother that she decided she was going to dedicate her life to analyzing and finding and talking about these cases of radical remission. She says, after all, if we're going to win this war on cancer, doesn't it make sense to talk to those who have already won? In fact, shouldn't we be subjecting those amazing survivors to numerous scientific tests and asking them every question we can think of in an attempt to find out what their secrets were? She said this book shares the results of her ongoing research into radical remission of cancer. I think you're going to love this book. For her Ph.D. dissertation, she interviewed 20 radical remission patients. She conducted over 100 direct interviews and analyzed over 1,000 written cases of these radical remission cases. She says, "I ask all oncologists I meet if they've ever had or seen a case of radical remission in their practices, and so far every one of them has answered yes." And then she asks if they took the time to publish the case or cases in an academic journal, and so far each one has answered no. She said after analyzing all of these cases carefully and repeatedly, using qualitative research methods, she identified more than 75 different factors that may hypothetically play a role in radical remission. But there were 9 factors that kept showing up over and over and over again. And you can read the book and find out about that. She deals with each one of those in a separate chapter. The one that I'm interested right now in talking about is radically changing your diet, which was one of the major considerations for most of these people. In the chapter of radically changing your diet, there's a section called the healing power of vegetables and fruits. She says when it comes to vegetables and fruits, you already know what I'm going to say. They are healthy for you, very healthy. Vegetables and fruits provide the human body with everything it needs: vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, fiber, glucose, protein, and even healthy fats. In terms of cancer, hundreds upon hundreds of studies have shown that eating vegetables and fruits helps prevent you from getting cancer in the first place, while other studies are showing that cancer patients who eat more vegetables and fruits live longer. Very interesting stuff when you get into those chapters. The vast majority of radical remission survivors that she continues to talk to and research says that they reduced or eliminated sweets, in other words, sugar, meat, dairy products, and refined foods. The standard American diet is knocking years off of our lives, and we've got to do something about it. The whole food plant-based diet movement is the only diet out there that has the longevity studies to absolutely prove that it is the best approach to eating that exists out there. If a radical change in your diet is something that you feel you need to do, you might want to investigate a video called Forks Over Knives. It is absolutely excellent in helping you understand these issues.